In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, I bear witness that there is but one God, and I bear witness that Muhammad is the messenger of God. I greet all of you, my dear brothers and sisters, with the greeting words of peace. We say it in the Arabic language, Assalamu alaikum, but it means in English, peace be unto you. To my dear brother Shokwe Lumumba, to Brother Charles Tisdale, for whom this program is organized, and the Jackson Advocate. Yes, sir. To Eddie Carthen, Brother Imari Obadeli, to all of my wonderful brothers and sisters on the rostrum, and to all of you in the audience. To Brother Minister Charles here in Jackson, Mississippi, and the ministers of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad from other cities, to my Christian and Muslim brothers and sisters, and to those who have no religious persuasion, I'm very happy and honored to be here this evening. I know that you have been here for quite some time, and I don't intend to keep you long, but there is a very serious message that I would like to leave with you this afternoon. Before I get into the meat of the message, I would like to say that without strong black media, we have no voice, no one to tell our story.
Sure, you're right. Sure, you're right.
I met Mr. Tisdale when I first began the effort to rebuild the Nation of Islam under the teachings and guidance of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. I met him here in Jackson, Mississippi. Brothers, if you could just move a bit, I want to see my brother. Yes, thank you. And when I met Brother Tisdale, I found him to be a very sincere and committed man to the struggle of our people for justice. Recently, Brother Shokwe Lumumba approached me and asked me if I would be willing to speak in Detroit and in Jackson, Mississippi on behalf of the Jackson Advocate. I didn't have to ponder long. I said, yes, sir. Whenever you can arrange it, I will come to Detroit and I will come to Jackson, Mississippi. It is not about whether you're a Muslim or a Christian or this or that. It is about if you are struggling for the principle of justice. Shokwe Lumumba is one of these great men that I admire as a struggler for justice, human rights, and the independence and self-determination of black people. Charles Tisdale is a man who has a vision, and he saw the need for an independent black voice in the state of Mississippi and in the city of Jackson in particular. Naturally, brothers and sisters, you cannot embark on the road to freedom without undergoing some trial, some tribulation for that effort. We don't take up the struggle because we flee from suffering. When we take up the struggle, that says we are willing to suffer.
Yes, sir.
The Jackson Advocate is our voice.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
It is our defender. It is our protector. It is the guardian of our rights.
Yeah, yeah.
without the Jackson Advocate or a paper like it, we have to depend on our enemies to give us the truth of whatever is happening to us. That's a terrible condition to be in. When you have to depend on your enemies to tell you the truth of your own condition and your suffering. And if they have not told us the truth in the past, and they're not telling us the truth in the present, then what we need is a strong black media that will defend the justice of our cause. How can the Jackson Advocate be strong if we don't support it? White people know the strength of the black market. Therefore, white people advertise in the black press, not just to get your dollars, but to be in a position to strangle your voice. If your voice speaks to you that which the advertisers do not like, then they will threaten the publisher that they will pull their advertising. So the poor black newspapers are strangled around the country. They don't have our support. Therefore, they don't have the means of getting to the truth of whatever is being put on the wire services. They don't have investigative reporters. They have to take what UPI, AP, all the wire services give them. This is a shame. That our black newspapers are nothing but parrots of what white folks say, whether it is a lie or the truth. They may have the will to find out, but they don't, and they have the skill to find out, but they don't have the money to find out. And they don't have the money because we are weak in supporting our own. There is no reason why the Jackson Advocate should not be an independent voice for black people, supported by black people, giving Mr. Tisdale the power to hire young black journalists that can go anywhere where a story is to bring back the truth, to report it to our people. That can happen if we get behind the Jackson Advocate. How do we get behind the Jackson Advocate? First, we get behind the Advocate by buying it every time it comes out. It is not a crime to read a black newspaper. It is intelligent as a black person to read a black newspaper. Now, before I'm charged with being anti-Semitic, I want to make this clear. Many Jews own many of the major newspapers. But they have a Jewish newspaper that speaks exclusively to Jewish concerns. And the Jews support not only the mass media that's for the mass mind, but they support that personal media that is designed for the Jews and Jewish concerns. This is not wrong to support your own. It is a matter of self-respect. It is a matter of love for yourself. It is a matter of self-preservation to support your own. So every household in Jackson, every week that the Jackson Advocate comes out, you should have it on your table
Yes, sir.
in your home, and it should be a centerpiece for discussion around the dinner table with our families at night.
Yes, sir.
That's how Kennedy raised young men
Yes, sir.
to be politically conscious.
Yes, sir.
They raised them around the news
Yeah.
and discussing the news relative to power and the concerns of power at the dinner table.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So these young men grew up with a sense of identity and where they wanted to go and where they wanted to take the country.
Yes, sir.
If the RICO Act was a law when Joseph Kennedy was hustling booze,
Yeah. Yes, sir. Show you right.
then there wouldn't be any Kennedy compound in Hyannis.
Yes, sir. Show you right.
The government would have a legal right to come in and take the wealth of the Kennedys because they got it through illegal means.
Yes, sir.
But here is a father that got his money through whiskey,
Yeah.
but made a son a senator and a president,
Yes, sir.
and grandchildren moving in the same direction, though they started from illegal methods.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Around a dinner table discussing where they wanted their family to go. You gotta have something at your table worthy of discussion.
Yes, sir.
The editorials in the Jackson Advocate, the things that are going on in our community are things that we should be discussing at our dinner table with our children. They've got to hear the talk from early morning to late at night about our plight. This is how children get imbued with the spirit to continue the struggle.
Yes, sir.
But if all we can do is sit around and let television talk to our children and let foolishness guide our household,
Yes, sir.
or let the pursuit of material things be the only focus in the house,
Yes, sir.
then we will continue to lose generations. And the struggle will die with us
Yes, sir.
rather than be picked up by our children. So I say that to say I am happy
Happy.
to be here
Yeah.
at the invitation of my brother.
Happy. Yes, sir.
Happy to be here happy to be here to say a word of good for my brother Charles Tisdale
Yes, sir.
and the Jackson Advocate, and happy to be in Mississippi. I gotta say this, Brother Chokwe, you said it perfect. I wanted an excuse to come here anyway.
Yes, sir.
I love Mississippi. I love the people of Mississippi.
Yes, sir.
I don't think there is a finer group of black people anywhere in the world than what you find in Mississippi and in what is called the Deep South. The greater the oppression, the stronger the product that comes out from under that oppression. And whether you want to believe it or not, Mississippi,
Bless it. Bless it.
you are the liberators of your people.
Come on, brother minister.
Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, Louisiana, Texas, Florida. This is where the giants are going to come from.
Yes, sir.
I didn't come here tonight to waste a lot of your time. I have a very serious thing to put in front of you.
Yes, sir.
We are in trouble.
Oh, yeah.
The government of the United States is planning our death.
Yes, sir. Show you right.
Just listen to me. I'm not a crazy man. I'm not a crackpot. I'm not a man that relishes opening up government secrets. I was born into this world to do exactly what I'm doing.
Yes, sir.
I couldn't get away from it if I wanted to. God has made me a voice for the hurt of our people.
Yes, sir. Oh, bless.
I cannot be bought. They don't have enough. I cannot be frightened by the powers of this world to shut my mouth and allow what I love to be destroyed.
Oh, bless.
The Bible teaches that perfect love
Yes, sir.
casteth out fear. When you love, you are unafraid.
Oh, bless.
A mother loves her child,
Yeah.
but she went out to the store and her house caught on fire.
Yes, sir.
When she came back, she saw flames jutting from the windows and coming through the roof. The firemen may be afraid to go in there,
Yeah.
but not a mother. Not a mother who loves her child. The mother knows that flames burn.
Yeah.
The mother knows that she could die. But her concern is not for herself. Her concern is for her child that at the very moment could be being burned. So she challenges the flames for her child.
Bless it.
America is like a flaming cauldron of brutal oppression and racism. And our people are dying not because they want to die, they're dying for the lack of knowledge. They are dying because ignorance has become our worst enemy.
Oh, you're right.
More so than the white man. Our fear of the white man and our ignorance of him and the knowledge of ourselves is killing us. So the scripture says, how can they know
Yes, sir.
except they have a teacher? And how can they have a teacher except he be sent? Since the white man put you in this condition, he's not going to send you a teacher, but one who will keep you in the condition that he puts you in. I'm not sick of white people.
Tell it.
I am a product
Yes, sir.
of your own longing. You produce me out of a natural law that God originated in the universe. You made me. You called me forth. You called for me before I was formed in the womb of my mother. You wanted somebody to speak for you. You wanted somebody who would be unafraid to go to the wicked white man and tell him, let my people go. You wanted somebody. And when God gave you those that you called forth, you became afraid of them and collaborated with your own enemies to destroy your own leadership.
Yes, sir.
But I'm blessed. I love Marcus Garvey.
Yes, sir.
He's like a father to me. Marcus Garvey was a great man whose idea was right and proper.
Yes, sir.
But you and I weren't ready.
We're ready. Tell it.
And if we were ready, the enemy was wiser in his preparedness and stopped us
Yes, sir.
from following the wise guidance of the Honorable Marcus Garvey.
Yes, sir.
My great teacher, Elijah Muhammad,
Yes, sir.
who I was blessed to meet as a man in show business, wanting to make people happy with my song and my dance, with my music.
Yes, sir.
I didn't know that the Word of God would be the very answer to what the people needed. I'm not talking about the Word of the Bible or the Word of the Quran. I'm talking about an understanding of the Word that is in the Bible, or the Word that is in the Quran. For the Bible said, blessed is he who reads and understands. If you just read and don't understand, you just as big a fool going to the Bible as you are coming away from the Bible.
Oh, blessed, blessed, blessed. Come on, brother. Teach.
My illustrious teacher is not physically present today.
Yeah.
I came up under Malcolm X. We both were students of Elijah Muhammad, but Malcolm was my mentor.
Yes, sir.
I adored him.
Yeah.
He was the father that I never knew. He was the brother that I wished I had.
Yeah.
He was the friend that shared knowledge with me. He's not present today.
Yes, sir.
Martin Luther King Jr.,
Yes, sir.
a man called forth out of our suffering
Yes, sir.
to deal with our problem of justice.
Yes, sir.
He's not here today. It looks like they've cleared the deck.
Yes, sir.
Nobody left.
Yes, sir.
Those that are left have been bought off.
Oh, yeah.
Those that are left have other agendas other than the liberation and self-determination of black people. Imari Obadeli is the same today as yesterday, only more mature.
Yes, sir.
He's consistent. He hasn't given up the struggle.
No.
Chokwe Lumumba is the same today as yesterday, only more mature.
Yes, sir.
But as a national voice, I'm alive and we are alive.
Yes, sir.
At the time of the harvest, when the harvest that was sown by Marcus Garvey, Noble Drew Ali, Malcolm and Martin Delaney, all of it is coming to fruition now.
Yeah.
And white folks are shook
Shook.
because a voice has arisen that black people are listening to, that they do not control. So for the next 30 minutes,
Yes, sir.
I want you to hear me.
Yes, sir.
Because what I'm saying is not of myself. If it's of myself, I tell you, don't even pay it too much attention.
Come on, brother.
Brothers and sisters, I repeat, the government of the United States has a plan to destroy black people of America with a particular focus on the Nation of Islam and black revolutionary movements and the leadership of these movements, Chokwe,
Yes, sir.
every minister of the Nation of Islam, culminating in Louis Farrakhan, with an assassination attempt. It is already planned, and the plans are in motion,
Yes, sir.
and the die is set.
Yeah.
The government has been working on this plan for many years, since the death of the civil rights movement.
Yeah.
They determined that they would never allow our rise like we did in the 60s. Most of the burnout leaders of the 60s have opted for positions
Yeah.
in government as exponents of a system that does not work in terms of justice for black people. We have opted for positions in corporate America on the board of corporations,
Yeah.
and we are being silenced to speak out boldly as we did in the 60s
Yes, sir.
for the hurt of the masses of our people.
Yeah.
Please hear me. The government, with the use of the FBI,
Yeah.
has moved and is moving against strong leadership that has a black consciousness.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Most black politicians that are conscious and black are either under indictment or are being threatened with indictment or are in prison.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
The type of black people that are winning elections today, you have to look at them very carefully. Listen, you are happy that there's a black mayor in New York. I'm happy that we got a black mayor in New York.
Yes, sir.
But what kind of man have we gotten in New York? A man that white folk are secure with.
Yes, sir.
If white folk are secure with him, he ain't worth a damn for you. You better listen, brothers and sisters. White folk don't want black leadership that is strong, that is principled, that will agitate for justice.
Yes, sir.
They want accommodationist leadership, and they use this tricky language.
Yeah.
Say, this is the kind of leadership that will bring the people together. This is the kind of leadership that will make America what America should be. And these kinds of leaders will stand up before black people and say, you see, we all can be brothers. Poor Mr. Dinkins, he had to repudiate Farrakhan for 6 months. I never would tell the people not to vote for him, because I know how badly New York wanted a black mayor. After they got him to repudiate me, they didn't stop there. They said you keep bad company. You can't satisfy white people. You keep bad company. So he turned around and said, get rid of Sonny Carson. Get rid of G2 Weusi. Is there anyone else you don't like? They said, well, how can we trust you Here's a man that has come down on the side of the Jews in every issue. And then they said that's not enough.
Yes, sir.
If you want our vote, you have to condemn or repudiate Reverend Jackson.
Yes, sir. Sure they did. Sure they did.
He wants to be mayor so bad. He said Jesse Jackson will be no part in my campaign. He won't be any advisor to me. And they invited Jesse Jackson out of New York. If you notice, he wasn't there to celebrate the victory, but he was there to help the poor man get where he is. He wasn't invited to Virginia to share the victory of the new governor. Instead, they called the new mayor and the new governor to Washington. Cut Jesse out of the picture altogether because they sick of Reverend Jackson. While he's playing footsie with white people, repudiating his brother, they are planning his death. Oh, he don't understand. Y'all can take what I say or leave it alone. The white man is maneuvering us against each other, pitting one against the other to destroy any hope of our unity.
Yes, sir.
Here comes Ralph David Abernathy. What's the matter? Did I say something wrong? And many of you, most of you, practically all of you, are against Reverend Abernathy. If I asked you right now, how many of you agree with what Reverend Abernathy did, I don't believe one of you would raise your hand. I'm going to see. How many of you agree that what Reverend Abernathy did against Martin Luther King Jr. was a proper thing? Would you raise your hand? Couple, okay, good. But how many of you think that he did a very improper thing? Raise your hand. Now there was a few that said he did the right thing, but the whole audience just about didn't agree. Now you can look on television and see all the disciples of Dr. King at each other's throat now. And a white man with a microphone running back and forth. Reverend Abernathy saying, I didn't tell anything that was not known. That is my friend. And then another said, you're a Judas, you're this, you're that. And a white man said, what did you say he was? And how do you defend yourself? The devil in between two brothers. And instead of you looking beyond Abernathy, now we're all against Abernathy and for Dr. King, and the real culprit has thrown the stone and hidden his hand. This is why, as Muslims, this Quran closes with two chapters, chapters of refuge. Because we're in a time now where we've got to seek a refuge because we are under attack. When Brother Shockway said, look in front of you, those in front, look out. Those down, look around, look up. We are all we got. The Quran says, I seek refuge in the Lord of the dawn from the evil of what he has created.
Come on, Brother Minister.
From the evil of the intense darkness when it comes. From the evil of him who casts evil suggestions in a firm resolution. And from the evil of an envier when he envies. The last chapter of the Quran closes saying, I seek refuge in the Lord of men, the King of men, the God of men, from the evil whispering of a slinking devil who whispers into the hearts of men from among the jinn and the men. Ralph David Abernathy is not a purposeful enemy of Dr. King. Ralph David Abernathy is a deceived brother. Listen.
Bring it out. Bring it out.
Who deceived him? Who came to him with the idea to write the book? Who is the publisher of the book? What money backs the book? What was the purpose of the writers of the book? Come on. You don't see the hidden hand. But the devil, the Satan, the Caucasian, the blue-eyed one. I want you to look at a devil and see him for what he is. Don't call me no damn hater. I may bust your jaw open. How in the hell can you call me a hater with 400 years of their hatred sitting on top of your head and around your door? We don't have to make any apology if we hate white people. What the hell is wrong with you, Mississippi? You don't make any apology for hating black people who do you wrong. Why should you make any apology for white people that you hate for doing you wrong? You just so damn cowardly. Listen, my Christian preacher. You say you shouldn't hate because hate destroys the hater. Shut up, sissy! God hates. Go read your Bible. God said in the book, he loved Jacob, but he hated Esau. I didn't write it. God said. Through Jesus. Since Jesus said, whatever I hear, that I I speak. Jesus said, if you don't hate your mother, hate your father, hate your sister, your brother, yea, even your own life for my sake, you're not worthy of me. Jesus said, no man can serve two masters. He got to love one and hate the other. I didn't say it, the Lord said it. Now if God hates his enemies and kills his enemies, what the hell do I look like trying to make friends with an enemy when I should be killing them? You got it all mixed up. You hate yourself, and you hate your origin in the world, and you hate anybody that wants to make you love yourself if they don't include white people in it. I say this to white people who are present. I want you to listen to me good, white people. Don't ask me, do I love you? Ask me, am I justified to love you? When a man loves a woman, he said, baby, do you love me? She said, darling, you know I do. Her friends say, honey, why you love that man? Well, he's always there when I need him. He looks after me. He's such an intelligent man that when I have a problem, I just talk with him and he seems to have the answers. He's so kind and loving to me. Oh, he's not the best looking person in the world, but to me, there couldn't come no more beautiful. You gotta justify why you love somebody. You say, well, wait a minute. You're supposed to love everybody. Who said so? If you love everybody, you're a lover of nobody, including yourself. You're a liar and a hypocrite. You don't love everybody. You don't love your mother if your mother betrays you. You don't love your brother if your brother betrays you. But you love white people no matter what they did, because that's the way you've been trained. Huh? When a woman loves a man that beats her, smacks her around, but she's there cooking his food, washing his clothes, running his bath water. You remember Whoopi Goldberg in that movie, The Color Purple? Your heart went out for Whoopi, because the man was no good. And when she had the razor in her hand, wasn't you hoping she'd cut his throat? mistreated. Don't tell me to love them. Tell them, make yourself worthy of my love. Because my love is all I got. It's the power of God in me. It is the power that directs my talent and my energy and my being to serve the object of my love. That's why the Bible says, love God with all your heart, your soul, and your mind. I can justify that. And love your neighbor as yourself.
Yes, sir. Listen now. No, you're right.
But white people never taught us how to love ourselves. They made sure that the blacker you were, the more hatred you'd have for your black self. They taught hate. Now they want us to love them. You are not only a fool, but you are a damned fool. I'm respectful of white people. But don't ask me to love. What have you done to justify love? Not my love. What have you done to justify God's love? You brought my fathers into slavery. We didn't come on no Nina, Pinta, no Santa Maria. We ain't no damn pilgrims. We came in the hold of ships. I can't love slavery when I'm born to be free. I can't love somebody that strips me down naked and puts me on a block and sells me like a piece of meat. I can't love nobody that rapes my woman and brings half-white babies in the world and denies them and make the lighter think they're better than the darker. How in the hell can I love them? Mississippi. I can't love a man who can't respect my father to allow me to have my father's name. Chokwe Lumumba. Tisdale is a white man's name. How in the hell did a black man become Tisdale? Except something happened to his father. Talk back to me. How in the hell did we get to be Brown and Johnson and Jones and Smith and O'Reilly and Culpeper, Overhood, on the street, Snow and green and blue and brown and black? Where the hell did you get these names? You got them from your former slave master. Who is your father? Where's your father's name? Who is your mother? Where's your mother tongue? How can I love a man that takes from me my ability to speak the language of my father, that would allow me to read books written by my people to teach me my history? But I speak English today, and so do you. You got a degree in English. but no knowledge of who you are. Because an enemy robbed you of the knowledge of yourself. Brother Mason, Brother Schreiner, Sister Eastern Star, I'm so happy to be speaking in this glorious Masonic temple, a citadel of liberation, a house of men who seek divine light. Seek light because you're in the dark. The base of your knowledge is an architect of exquisite magnificence in the science of building. But some wicked ruffians hit him in the head and left him dead, and carried him in the north country or the north corner on a westerly course and buried him in a shallow grave. That's the base of this. Jesus put it another way. Y'all all right? So am I, Mississippi. Jesus said it this way. He told the people,
Yes, sir.
the first commandment, love God. With all your heart, soul, and mind. The second is like unto it, love your neighbor as yourself. On these two hang all the law and the prophets.
Yes, sir.
One smart lawyer hanging around in the crowd, trying to trap Jesus. He said, Jesus, who is my neighbor? That's a good question. Jesus didn't say your neighbor is Joe, your neighbor is John. He gave him a parable. He said a man was traveling from Jerusalem to Jericho, and he fell among thieves, who robbed him of his raiment, hit him in his head, and left him wounded, half dead in the road. A priest came and passed by on the other side. Along came a Levite, looked at him, shook his head, and then kept on stepping. But the Good Samaritan was traveling in the same direction, going down from Jerusalem to Jericho, and saw the man. Went to him, poured oil in his wound, bound up his head, put him on his beast, took him to an innkeeper, and gave the innkeeper 2 pence and said, if it is more than what I have given you on my return, I will pay you. Then Jesus asked, which one? Not which two. Which one did the neighborly thing? He is not justified in loving the thieves. He's not justified in loving the people that hit him in his head. He's not justified in loving either the priest nor the Levite. He's justified in loving the Good Samaritan. Talk back to me. Here's the meaning of the Masonic ritual and the parable of Jesus as taught by my teacher, Honorable Elijah Muhammad, a man that you don't think too much of. But as time goes on, you're going to learn better about that man. Jerusalem, a city founded in peace. First built by the original man. Original man means black man. It was called Jebus, Salem, and also Ariel. But when the Jews took it, they rebuilt it. And they called it Jerusalem, which means founded, established, rooted in peace. If you look at the nature of the black man, the scholars and scientists of the world are saying now, in corroboration of what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us, that in studying the genetic composition of the human family, they say that all human beings derived from a black woman. I didn't say this. This is what white folks are saying. Isn't that something? That the scripture is verified by the scientists, where the scripture says Eve was the mother of all living.
Yes, sir. That's it. That's it.
Newsweek magazine had a version of Adam and Eve on the cover, and they were not white. They were saying, and they have conclusive proof through their anthropologist, Dr. Leakey, and his discovery, through Mendel and his discovery of the Mendelian law, through their study of archaeology, through their knowledge of history, through their study of genetics and biogenetics.
Yes, sir.
They know that black people are the original people of the universe and are the first creation of the originator of the heavens and the earth. Therefore, if you come direct from him,
Yes, sir.
who not only gives peace, but is the author of peace, then the very nature of the black man and woman is founded in peace. It is written in the Quran this way: set your face for religion being upright, the nature made by Allah in which he has created men. Set your face for religion being upright. The nature of you is upright. The nature of you is godly.
Yes, sir.
I didn't say you are acting godly. I said the nature of you is godly. You are a people born with a nature to obey God. You say, not me. I don't recognize God. Sure you do.
Oh, yeah.
Sure you do. You are born to recognize one superior to yourself.
Yeah.
That's why when you came from your mother's womb, you cried.
Yes, sir.
Was there anybody in here that didn't? What the hell was you crying for unless somebody was there to hear your cry? That was your first prayer. You didn't know that there was going to be an answer, but instinctively you cried and somebody answered.
Yes, sir.
My baby is crying.
Come on, brother.
What you want, sugar? And they answered your cry, and then you became bonded to your mother, and she became your first idea of God.
Yes, sir.
Don't talk to me, just listen. I ain't talking foolishness. Your mother is God's representative. And you bowed to her. Tell me you didn't. What she told you, you said, yes, ma'am. Talk back to me. You didn't have enough sense to tell your mother that wasn't right. Because you didn't know right. Mama was your first teacher. You went on to school. And you began to read books. From the moment you quote a book, you recognizing somebody as your authority in that discipline. Come on, talk to me. Is there any of you that don't quote somebody? Come on. Then damn it, you recognize somebody as your superior. Yes, sir. All right. And when you recognize a superior, your nature makes you bow. Yes, sir. Don't talk to me about you don't believe in no God. You a damn liar. Any of you play basketball? Then when Kareem Abdul-Jabbar comes in, you say, there's my man. And what do? You bow. Any of you compose songs and sing? Stevie's in the house. Where? Any of you sing and dance? Michael is here. Michael who? Where's Michael? Even though Michael looks strange. Yes, sir. If Michael came in here today, everybody in here would say, wow, man, it's Michael. What do you see in Michael? He's a god in his field. Why do people scream and faint and fall out? Because he's a master of what he does, man. And your nature makes you bow down to mastery wherever you see it. You ain't looking for no spirit to bow down to. Wherever you find mastery, your nature make you bow down. What am I saying, woman? When you find the man of your dreams, you ain't standing up. When you meet the man of your dreams, you want to be his servant. Ain't no such thing as women's liberation. You liberated right there. I found what I want. Excuse me, I got off my subject. Your nature is to bow down to the Lord of the worlds. As you mature in life, you begin to look at mom and you see defect in mom. You respect her, you honor her, but you don't worship her. That's right. You find a leader and you follow the leader, but you see defect in the leader. You say, he's my leader, he's my teacher, but he's got a fault. I can't worship him. Because your nature is keeps you climbing till you find the one who originated all of this. And when you find him, you bow. And when you find him, you know you're home. You're free at last. Free from the worship of that which is not worthy of being worshiped. Now, I just want to tie this whole subject up. Brothers and sisters, I hope I'm not boring you. The meaning of these two parables has to do with you. Right. You were founded in peace. But you went down into Jericho, a city of confusion. We're very confused now. Who are you? Well, I'm black. No, I'm Negro. I'm Afro-American. Oh, I'm African-American. I'm colored. Where you from? I'm from Mississippi. Well, I'm from Carolina. I'm from the West Indies. I'm from Africa. Are you family? Well, I don't know nothing about you being my family. I'm a Baptist. I'm a Methodist. I'm an Episcopalian. I'm a Church of God in Christ. I'm a Muslim. I'm a Hanafi. I'm a Sunni. I'm a Shiite. I'm a Catholic. Just confused. What's the matter with you? Aren't you confused? Confused people don't do intelligent things, you know? Confused people can't act positively in a confused state. You have to stop until the confusion clears. Confused in Jericho, a dude hit us in the head. And you don't know who you are now. Who's your mother? Who's your father? Am I your sister? Am I your brother? Huh? What? What's your language? Huh? Where you come from? Was your father an inventive father? Who? What? You got amnesia. You can't remember nothing about who you are except what white folk told you. Now you got a new identity. You a new creature now. These ain't new African people. These is new creations of a slave master. These are niggas, Negroes, colored people. This is what the white man made. God didn't have a damn thing to do with this. That's why you confused. Pardon me for saying damn or hell. But we've been in a hell of a damn condition all our lives. Hell is a terrible place to be. And hell is the place of the damned. Damned with an ED is the past participle of the verb to damn. And when you damn a thing, you curse it, you condemn it, it is damned. Now, I don't know about you, but I want to get out of here. And I want to get out of this damned condition. I ain't cussing. Just explain. Everybody all right? About to go. Brothers and sisters, we got hit in the head. And we're wounded now in the road. Here come the priest. What did he do? Did he pass by? Where? On the other side. See, religious people, listen. Church is good, it's well-meaning. Reverend, you good, you well-meaning. But look at the heads of your people. They're still wounded. Why didn't you pour oil in their wound? It wasn't that you didn't want to do it. You just never had any oil for your head. Much less theirs. I want to talk to white people in our audience. I don't mean any disrespect. I just want you to hear me and understand why I am the way I am. See, you all had this church business a long time while you was hanging out fathers. Not you personally, but your people. Y'all set up the church while we were in the fields. Y'all locked up the Bible and wouldn't let us read. You passed by on the other side. And in 1790, when you made us Christians, you didn't make us Christians to get us close to Jesus. No, don't hand me that. I know your history. You used Jesus to make a better slave. You painted Jesus in your image and after your likeness. While the scripture tell you he had hair like lamb's wool and feet like brass, more than another, Jesus was a black man. You better listen. You gave us a white man. Told us he was our Savior. And you told us that when you see Jesus, you see the Father. You see God. Subliminally, you were suggesting to us that white people are divine. Subliminally, you were suggesting to us the converse of ourselves, that if you are divine in your whiteness, then we are non-divine in our blackness. Are you listening? So you subconsciously want to be close to God.
Yes, sir.
And so in your actions, you want to be close to white people. God is a natural ruler. And that's why it's so hard to talk about self-determination, because if you want to be free from white people, in the minds of Mississippi, they think you want to be free from Jesus. That's why you can't get to first base with our people, Chauffeur, unless you can unravel the religious sickness of the people. Y'all all right? The young people are not so rooted, but yet they got it all in them. We don't even know why we won't act in a self-determined way. Brother Mario Obadeli has been here for years suffering, telling you a right teaching that you got to do something for yourself. You got to have land. You know that. You didn't need Marcus Garvey, Chokwe Lumumba, Elijah Muhammad, Farrakhan to tell you you need land. Why are you trying to get away from the land? Because in your mind you equate the land with slavery.
Yes, sir.
You equate the land and the farm with the days when you were chopping cotton for white folks for nothing. So you want to run up north. Why? Because your nature makes you want to get as far away from slavery as possible. So you run to Chicago, run to New York, run to Cleveland, run to Detroit. What you running from? I'm running from slavery. I'm running from the farm. I'm running from being a sharecropper. I'm running from chopping cotton. What you running to? A job in a factory working for the same cracker that you running from in the sun. What you running from? And what you running to? The land didn't sin against you. You plant cotton, you got cotton. You plant wheat, you got wheat. You plant apples, you got apples. The land will produce for you, but you selling the land. You giving up the land to go north, to be a fool, only to come back later with nothing but crack and a reefer and a wine bottle, and possibly you picked up a white girl. Well, the priest and the church has passed by on the other side. Dear Reverend, the church is all we got. It's the only thing we got left, Reverend. That's right. But if the church don't have no oil in it, For the wounded heads and hearts of a people that cry out for knowledge. Then the people will leave the church and hate the preacher, because the church becomes a house of Sunday morning entertainment rather than a house of instruction and guidance for people that need guidance in their lives. Who are the Levites? The Levites represent the priests of Israel. Jews are more sympathetic to you than other white people. See, they come close to the wounded man. But while you wounded, holding your head, they may be looking in your pocket to see what's left. The other robber took your raiment, now they see what they can take. I got to tell the truth. Jews, you call me anti-Semitic. You're a liar. But you are anti-black. You are anti-black. See, black folk, you don't use these terms. But you need to lay back on white people what they lay on you. Now look here. My name is Farrakhan. I've never done nothing against a Jew. I don't do things purposely to hurt people. I just tell the truth. But look, my Jewish friends, if such there be. I better drink some water behind me. If you are our friend, who controls Hollywood? Who gave us the role of Step and Fetch It? Who had us buck dancing in Hollywood? With our eyes bucked out, showing black people that this is all we can do. Who gave us that picture of ourselves? You did. To this very day, you control how we are seen, both on the screen and on the television. Every day you can tell your story about the Holocaust. But you gave us 1 week on television in a mild version of our suffering called Roots. And then you took that off. So you are here weeping for Jews, but nobody weeps for you. I'm not anti-Semitic. I'm just trying to look at things as they are. You sing songs. Black people can't be your manager, except up to a certain point. Then white folk take over. Push out the black manager, the black promoter. Who runs the show? Sorry about that. It's Jewish people. They run the artist world. Who's over the teachers union? Come on and talk to me. Who's over the bar association? Who's over the medical association? The psychologists, the psychiatrists? Who are the publishers? Now look, man. All I'm saying is we got to break up this relationship that don't profit black people. And if we're going to have a relationship with Jews or with white people or with government, it's got to be on a different level. Over the medical association, the psychologists, the psychiatrists, who are the publishers? Now look, man. All I'm saying is we got to break up this relationship that don't profit black people. And if we're going to have a relationship with Jews or with white people or with government, it's got to be on a different level. It's got to be on a mutually beneficial level, or there won't be no relationship at all. You see say Farrakhan want to break up blacks and Jews, you're damn right. I want to bust it up until it's worthy of being put together. Now I'll conclude. A good Samaritan came and poured oil in the wound. Look, brothers, sisters, you may not like this, but my cup runneth over. And everywhere I go, I'm dropping oil in a wounded black head. I don't ask for nothing in return. I just want to pour oil in your wound and bind up your head and put you on your own beast. I'm not an evil man. I'm really your brother.
That's right.
He's your brother. Tisdale is your brother. Imari Obadeli is our brother. Eddie Coffin is our brother. These are our people that love us and want to pour oil in our wounds. So in my conclusion, beloved members of the New Africa People's Organization, the All-African People's Revolutionary Party, the NAACP, the Urban League, whatever organization you have, and members of the black church. The government is frightened that this is the time of our rise. They are frightened of our youth because our youth are not like their elders. They're strong, they're determined, they're fearless, they're uncompromising, and we are multiplying. As the birth rate of white people is getting smaller, the birth rate of black people is getting larger. White demographers say that by the year 2083, if our birth rate continues at this pace, we will be greater or equal to whites in population in less than 100 years. Do you realize that 70% of our people are under 30? That means that you got a fighting age population and a working age population, but no work for the working age. Only the army open for you, or hang out on the corner and sell drugs. The Bible says Pharaoh became so frightened of the multiplication of the children of Israel. He said, "Come, let us deal wisely with them, lest they multiply, join on to an enemy of ours, and come against us." So Pharaoh hatched a plan to kill all the male children of the children of Israel and spare the female. Check out what's happening. The ranks of the black male is being decimated. Our black women do not have young black men that they can look to with hope and pride. Our women are in the colleges and universities in abundance, but they find no black men that are thinking on a level where they can find comfort in the thinking of the black man. Am I lying, sisters? You go to college because you're big, strong, you jump higher than white folks. You can run a football like a monster. But when they get you in college, unless you go to a black school. But they don't want you in the black schools. They're trying to close down the black colleges. They're working hard on Jackson State. They're working hard on Tougaloo. They're working hard on Howard, on Hampton, on all the black colleges to integrate them and weaken them and drive you toward the big white school. Your talent is bringing them millions of dollars. So you just a big basketball star now. Mother raised you on whatever she could get. Now you're 7 foot tall. And white folks say, look at that giant. I bet he could throw that ball in the hoop. I'm gonna give you a scholarship, boy. Now you in Ole Miss. You just missed. You in Ole Miss. 6'10", 7 foot, throwing balls in hoops. Now they put you in a dormitory away from your other brothers and sisters. Make you non-political. Then give you a white woman. Little white girl on the campus, you know, you the star, that's your chick. You walk down the street with the white woman, you know you in heaven. And the poor black sister looking at you. Hi, brother. How you doing? Then your little sister here is left at the mercy of white men. So the white man talks sweet to you, sister. He don't love you. Hi, Cindy. Can I carry your books? And in your heart you say, now see, the black man just don't know how to treat a black woman. Yes, Sam, you can carry my books. He'll open the door for you. He'll say sweet words to you. Because he wants a favor from you. Now, if you think the white man loves you, sister, bring him your black father. See, will he accept your father like he accepts you? Now, brothers and sisters, the government has decided that we are dangerous. We are growing in number. And their aim is to destroy us all. I'd like to close by telling you a vision that I was given. I want you to listen to me. I won't lie to you if it means my life. But I'd like to tell you about a vision that is as real as me looking at you and you looking at me. Now, some of you don't know about visions, but there's not one of you who hasn't had an experience that you've been someplace that you know you've never been before. And when you get there, you say, oh, I've been here before. How many of you have had an experience like that? Would you raise your hands? How many of you have actually heard a conversation and then been in a room, and as people start talking, you almost know what the next word is, but you've never been there before? Let me see your hands. How many have had that? Isn't that something? Now, what is that? Please, this is the end. You don't see with these eyes. There is another eye that allows you to see where the physical eye can't go. And there's another ear that allows you to hear what the physical ear cannot hear. when you are in the state of a vision, not a dream, the spirit of you is transported and not bound or limited by space and time. And in the spirit you see and hear events that are yet to unfold. Are you listening? Now, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad told us, if you got a dream, say it's a dream. Because most dreams are not correct. Although there's a lot of truth in dreams. But all visions are absolutely truth. During the height of the Jewish controversy with Farrakhan, and Jews, when they're angry with you, they pull out all stops. And the first thing they do is lambaste you in the media. Then they try to cut off your bread and cut off your friends.
That's right. Yes, sir.
Look at your brother. They've been fighting me since '84. Thanks to Allah,
Yes, sir.
I'm still here. And I told them then, you're going to have to deal with me one day, sooner or later, because I'm not going nowhere. If I am in front of you of myself, then they ain't got nothing to worry about. But if I am backed by the Lord of the worlds, then you better be careful how you handle Brother Farrakhan. Now listen, in '85 in California, 19,000 people came out to the forum to hear what we had to say. I got into a controversy with the mayor, had to spank him, and then I slipped out of town. I went down into Mexico in a little village called Tepoztlan. In that village, there's a mountain, and on the top of the mountain is a ruined temple dedicated to the memory of Quetzalcoatl, who is the Christ figure of Central America. I've climbed that mountain several times in the past, physically going up the mountain. But this night of September the 17th, 1985, in the little village of Tepoztlan, my wife and I are there, but in the middle of the night, I'm taken up on that mountain, not physically, but in the spirit. Out of the wheel, a voice calls to me and says, come up in the wheel. I call my friends, come. And the voice says, not them, just you. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad has taught us about these things. For nearly 60 years, we are not dumb to what that is. That is not a phenomenon to us as it is to the world, because we've been taught about these things. Please listen to me. I'm waiting for the wheel to come over the mountain so I could go up in it. And they tell me from the wheel, relax, and a beam of light comes down that is so thick, it resembles the light that comes in your window, and you see the particles of dust in the light where you almost can touch it, feel it. And I'm drawn up into the wheel on this beam of light. I can't see the pilot, but I know he's there. I really can't make out the controls. I know they're there. I'm just in the wheel. The wheel goes off at a terrific speed, and I'm getting afraid because I know it's taking me to the mother wheel, which the mother wheel is a human-built planet that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us is a half a mile by a half a mile that carries 1,500 of these little planes on it, and it has a whole civilization up on it. This is above top secret. The United States government has been watching and studying this phenomena for over 40 years. And they try to ridicule it, but they admit that the technology of the wheel is superior to any technology that's on the earth. Therefore, they think it comes from outer space. But the Honorable Elijah Muhammad says it's not from outer space. It is made by the wise original scientists of the earth who were in power before the white man was even a thought, who built civilizations superior to this one. But knowing that the enemy was coming and not wanting the enemy to borrow anything of our wisdom, much of our civilization has been buried under the sands of the Sahara Desert and in the jungle foliage of Africa. And the more they dig and the more the archaeologists uncover, they uncover civilization of the black man that make this one look like child's play. Listen, man. Just listen. This is really what I came to tell you. As the little wheel approaches the big one, the pilot knows I'm somewhat frightened, so he maneuvers the craft off to the side of the plane so I don't see the big one. Then he backs into a little tunnel and docks. He opens the door for me to come out and admits me into a room. Nobody's in the room but me. There's a speaker in the center of the room, and I hear the voice of Elijah Muhammad just as clear as you're hearing my voice, and I know his voice. I don't see the face, I hear the voice. He talks to me in short, cryptic sentence. A cryptic sentence is a sentence that has much in it that has to be decoded. But I know he's talking to me, and wisdom is coming in me, and a scroll rolls down in front of me. And by the way, for you who are Bible scholars, all this is written in the book, if you know where to look. Wait a minute, just wait a minute. As this scroll comes down in front of me, which is a mirror of what is going on in my mind, I can actually read it, but it's at a distance, so I'm trying to slip up on it. Then he begins to speak, and the scroll rolls up, and this is what he said to me. He said, brother, President Reagan and the Joint Chiefs of Staff have met, and they are planning a war. I want you to go and hold a press conference in Washington, D.C., and tell them that you were on the wheel and you heard my voice, and that I was the one that revealed their plan to you. He said, you got one more thing to do. And after you do that, you can come again to the wheel, and I will permit you to see me face to face. Listen, listen, just listen, please. He said, you may go. I go out the door. The pilot takes me into the plane. The plane shoots out from the mother wheel and then goes up to a terrific height and turns. And I look down and I see an actual city in the sky. This is written in the book of Revelations. I saw a city come down from heaven. Yes, it actually is what they call the New Jerusalem, meaning that the wisdom of God and the Christ, who says, I make all things new, that wisdom is on that wheel. And the wisdom of a whole new world order, the germ of it all is right there. The plane drops me off near Washington. I move into Washington, make the announcement, and I come up out of the vision. Yes, sir. As fast as I come up out of the vision, I don't remember. 2 days later, on September the 19th at 7:19 in the morning, an earthquake hits Mexico City. I had just finished prayer, and I'm sitting on my bed, and the bed is jumping. If you've ever been in an earthquake, that is a terrifying experience. Yes, sir. We are far away from Mexico City, but the bed is jumping and the walls begin to look like they're liquid. My wife is laying in the bed. I say, honey, I think this is an earthquake. And I'm looking for some place to run. She's laying there calm. I got to tell you the truth. She was calm, but I'm looking for some place to hide because I think this thing is going to come down in a minute. I run to the window and look out, and the water in the pool is being thrown out of the pool. The pool is just moving. After a while, it settles down. I said, man, that was some earthquake. Now, in this room, they don't have no television, no radio, so I don't know what's going on. So, Sister Tainetta Muhammad, the wife of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, lives in Cuernavaca. So that's about 20 miles away. So I go to her home that morning, and she tells me that the government center of Mexico City was destroyed. All communication knocked completely out, and it happened at 7:19. As she's telling me this, the vision comes back in my mind, and I tell my wife and her the vision for the first time. A few days later, I tell it to Brother Jabril Muhammad in Phoenix, Arizona. Now listen to this. I don't know where the war is going to take place. I don't know who the war is against. But now I got to go to Madison Square Garden. Nearly 50,000 people are out there in a place that only holds 30,000 people between the garden and the forum. And as I'm in a disguise, my brother and I, moving toward New York, where the Jews were just raising hell about Farrakhan, we get the news that from Tucson, Arizona, 15 squadrons of 4 wheels in a squadron were flying from southwest to northeast at such a slow speed that the army picked it up and followed them for about an hour and a half. Now, I'm going from southwest to northeast, and the planes are going from southwest to northeast. I make the speech in New York. It's not clear to me yet what the vision is all about, but the speech in New York shakes New York. I'm shook too. But then in December, I go on a world tour, starting in the Caribbean and Central America. And in January, I'm in a tiny country called Belize in Central America, and Reagan comes on the news. And Reagan forbids anybody to travel to Libya or anybody to do any business with Libya. You remember all this terrorist stuff that was coming up around that time? I saw it, I recorded it in my mind, and kept on going. In late January, Kwame Ture, Stokely Carmichael to you, some of you know him as that name, came to Chicago with a Libyan brother asking me to join them in a press conference in Washington, D.C. Yes, sir. And the title of the press conference was Hands Off Libya. So I said, okay, I will. I go to Washington, and all through the night, I write the speech because I'm representing 15 groups of black people, Hispanic people, Native Americans, and some whites who want America to say hands off Libya. In my speech, listen carefully, I said to the press and to the world, Reagan lusts for the blood of Muammar Gaddafi. And as President Lyndon Johnson fabricated an incident in the Gulf of Tonkin to accelerate the war in Vietnam under a false pretext, so is Reagan fabricating an incident in the Gulf of Sidra in the Mediterranean as an excuse to attack Muammar Gaddafi and destroy the Libyan Arab Jamahiriya. Now, I'm still not conscious that this could be the fulfillment of the vision. Right after that, the the astronauts go up. I think in late January, was it, that they went up and got destroyed? In February, I'm on my way now to Africa. And while I was in Ghana, it became clear to me by watching the signs that it's Gaddafi that they're going to kill. It's Libya that the war is against. I alter my itinerary. Where's Brother Khalid? Come here, Brother Khalid. Brother Khalid was the point man in Africa. He went to arrange my tour in Nigeria and in other places. Khalid knew that if he went to Libya to warn Gaddafi, he could be arrested, given 10 years maximum in prison and a $50,000 fine. On a dark road in Ghana, he and I walking together, I said to my brother, "Brother, I must go to Libya and warn Brother Gaddafi." He said, "Brother, let me go so that I could go to prison, not you." I said, "Brother, the people know me more than you in America right now." I said, "And if I'm arrested and sent to prison for visiting a country in Africa where they stole us from," I said, "this will heighten the consciousness of black people in America." So I decided I would test Reagan's ban and go to Gaddafi in Libya. As my plane took off going to Libya, my brother standing on the tarmac saluting me and I saluting him. This brother went with me because he is a reporter, so reporters can go. And another brother, and the three of us with some brothers from Africa that were traveling companions went into Libya. We got to Libya late at night, and they sent cars and sirens taking us through the streets to our hotel suite. The next night, everybody in the Libyan government was in my hotel suite with the exception of Gaddafi and Jaloud, his second in command. I told them the same vision that I told you. Only I said to them, they're coming to bomb your military installation, which is where Gaddafi lives. They're coming to bomb your airport, your airfield, your communication, and your pipeline. They ran out of the room. Am I lying, brother? No, sir, not at all. They went out of that room like fire was on them. We expected that they went straight away to Gaddafi. The next day, I spoke before a conference representing 80 nations of people. And I spoke the same vision, and I warned Reagan and I warned Schultz that this was dangerous and it would ultimately lead to their own destruction. About a week later, the aircraft carrier comes into the Mediterranean, and there's a dogfight over Libya. 2 American jets are shot down, but the aircraft carrier don't respond. I called back to the United States. I talked to Brother Jabril. I said, "Brother Jabril, the wheel is over the Mediterranean, and it has interfered with the highly sophisticated electronic equipment on the aircraft carrier." Sure enough, the news comes out that the aircraft carrier had to go back to Florida for repairs, and they were sending another one. Meanwhile, I leave Libya, my brother, another brother and we go to Mecca in Saudi Arabia. While I'm in Mecca, we read in the newspaper a bright orange object seen over the Mediterranean. You got it? Then the bombers came and they bombed the airfield. They were looking for Gaddafi's MiGs, but he had gotten his MiGs out of Libya into Sudan. Check it out. They bombed the military installation where he was. It was the most expensive assassination attempt in the history of the world, and it failed. And look, I'm not ashamed to say that I warned the brother, and the brother is alive, and Libya is safe. And he's not a terrorist, he's not an enemy. They want to kill him because he uses petrodollars to support the movement of oppressed people and revolutionary movements throughout the world. That's why they don't like Gaddafi. Now listen, I did my part. I go from there to the Middle East, to China, to Pakistan, and I slip back in the United States. They were watching for me at every border. And to this day, they don't know when I came in, and they don't know how I came in. But I got in 2 weeks before anybody ever knew that I was back in the country. And then sued the president and the Secretary of State, not on my behalf, for you. How can a white man that snatched us from Africa tell black people we can't go where they snatched us from? I told the president, I ain't your slave. I'm a free black man. You can't tell me where I can go on the earth that my father created for me. Because Gaddafi is your enemy, that don't make him my enemy. Give me just a couple more minutes. Brothers and sisters, in February of 1987, guess what? It came out in the New York Times magazine section, and in the Washington Post, and on the front page of the Atlanta Constitution. Listen to the headlines. U.S. planned to invade Libya. Listen, when you read in the article, it says early in September 1985. When did I get the vision? September the 17th, 1985. During the first week of September, look at the words. President Reagan met with who? The Joint Chiefs of Staff. To do what? To plan a war against Gaddafi and the Libyan Jamahiriya. They sent for the Egyptian ambassador, and they wanted Egypt, a Muslim country, to invade Libya from the east, and they would provide air cover. Let another Arab take the heat. We'll stay up in the air and bomb. You understand? And y'all get rid of my enemy for me. When I was in Mecca, Secretary of State George Shultz was traveling in the Middle East, and so was James Baker. Is that his name? Baker. Baker was in Iran, and Shultz was in the Middle East, cooling out the moderate Arab leaders so that when they killed Gaddafi, there would be no uprising in the Arab world. Now, I ain't talking about Saudi. I'm not talking about Arabs, because it's deeper than that. I didn't know that the vision that I was given on the wheel was a sign, or rather, that Gaddafi was to be a sign of a greater war that would take place. Yes, sir. Gaddafi is a revolutionary Muslim leader. Libya is a revolutionary Muslim nation. Now, here it is. If the vision was true in everything that I said, and I said it before it came out, everything that I was shown came out exactly as I was shown it. Now here it is. in the summer of this year, I was in Phoenix, Arizona, looking at the television, and I see the Chinese students rising up in China. And you saw it on your television screen.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, the Chinese government brought the Chinese army into Tiananmen Square and killed those Chinese students, rolled over them with tanks. Do you recall?
Yeah.
And the propaganda coming out of China was that these students were thugs, they were hooligans, they were counter-revolutionaries, and the government justified killing those children. What was Bush's response? He was very weak. Even members of Congress were stronger in condemning Deng Xiaoping than was Bush. Was it because Bush was a former ambassador to China? Was it because Bush was a former head of the CIA? Or was it something deeper? I didn't understand it at that time. But when I saw the death of those Chinese children, something triggered in my mind, and I became instantly ill and aged about 15 years. And when I came back from Phoenix, nobody would tell me how bad I looked. But when something is on your mind that rests heavily on you, it lays pressure on your brain until you understand what you're looking at.
That's right. That's right.
Meanwhile, in Boston, there was some gang activity.
Yes, sir.
And the gangs in Boston, with sophisticated weapons, shot up $250,000 of property in Roxbury, Massachusetts. Only one person was injured, but the police wanted the gang leaders. The gang leaders wouldn't come in unless the Muslim took them in. So the Muslim minister in Boston used his influence to stand between the police and the gang leaders. And the gang leaders told the Muslim minister, if Brother Farrakhan asked us to put down the weapons, we'll put them down. So he calls me and tells me to send a message to the gangs. I thank him and hang up the phone. I said, nah, I didn't tell him to pick up no weapons. Why should I tell him to put them down? So I don't send no message. Every time I get ready to send one, it don't come. Just bear with me a couple more minutes, please. When I decide finally to dictate the words to the gangs, it clicks. Brothers, sisters, have you noticed that for the last 2 years, they've been showing you on the nightly news pictures of gangs in California and in other places? Now look at this. Every night you see young black men with their hands cuffed on their knees, laying down on the sidewalk. You look in the faces of our children, they look confused, like they don't know what's going on. The children are not speaking. The reporters are speaking for our children. And they're saying the police are taking back the streets from the gangs. Every night they show you somebody dead, shot down by the gang. They show you mothers crying. What effect does this have on you? You don't stop to think. Where did these gangbangers get MAC-10s, Uzis, AK-47s, street sweepers, when you know we don't manufacture no weapons? How did white people put them kind of weapons in a black man's hand? And don't you know, if the white man thought you knew how to use that weapon and knew who to use it on, do you think he would put the weapon in your hand? But now look, brother, every night they're showing our young people with weapons. They got us in Life magazine with rifles, bandanas. They put out a movie, Colors. They put out movies, Death Wish 1, 2, 3, and 4, where the vigilantes are rising up, killing young blacks, but there's a few whites in it, but the main target is black, black young men. Now you're reading about drugs and gangs and violence, and the way the media is playing it is as though only black people use drugs. Only black people in gangs. Only black people are violent. So now they got you crying out, for God's sake, rid the city of gangs. They're making you a party to your children's destruction. Please listen to me. Please listen to me. I may never get back to Jackson again before the thing goes down that is about to go down. And if I never see you again, I will have warned you, and your blood will not be on my hands. I'm telling you, the vision that God gave me, well, before that, when they rode on the Chinese children in Tiananmen Square, the same night Khomeini died. That means something. I didn't know what then. I go back to Phoenix, and I'm looking on the television, and they say that Mickey Leland was in Ethiopia. His plane is missing.
That's right.
The day they found his plane, everybody on it dead. I don't know Mickey Leland. I only met him once or twice, but the tears come in my eyes, and I say, why is this man affecting me so? Mickey's dead. Now I'm telling you the full vision now. Gaddafi was a sign of Louis Farrakhan. Gaddafi is a Muslim revolutionary leader outside of America. And I am a Muslim revolutionary inside America. Listen! Gaddafi ain't listened to by black people. Farrakhan is listened to by black people. 2 weeks before Bush became president, he's standing before the Jews at the Simon Wiesenthal Center in Los Angeles, and listen to his words. Bush is talking. He promises the Jews that he will continue to fund the Justice Department in their vigorous investigation and prosecution of anti-Semites. He said whether they wear brown shirts, white shirts, and bow ties, whether they live in Skokie, Chicago, or Brooklyn, the villain is the same. The President of the United States is now telling the Jews that my first order of business is to get rid of Farrakhan. When Reagan was president, they asked Reagan in the press conference, what are you going to do about Farrakhan? And Reagan said, that matter is being looked into and will be taken care of. That's Reagan.
That's right.
Bush, and remember now, the Senate of the United States censured me 95 to nothing as a bigot, an anti-Semite, a racist. They setting the stage, but they're not just setting the stage for me.
Yes, sir.
Because if they kill me and leave Khaled, I'm here. If they kill me and leave any follower of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, then the message of Elijah Muhammad is still here. If they kill Imari, his message is here. If they kill Shockwave, the message is here. But I'm telling you, brothers, this ain't no damn plaything. You talk about that white man. That white man is a dog, brother. Move out the way. I want to see these things. I want to see who I'm looking at. Because I want you to know you can't sit on no damn platform with me thinking that this is some plaything. I'm not nobody to play with. This is life and death now. They have planned my death, and it is an elaborate scheme.
Yes, sir.
Bush and Reagan. Reagan, on the first day he was in office,
Yes, sir.
summoned the Security Council. His first order of business was kill Gaddafi. Bush's first order of business, we gotta get rid of Farrakhan.
Yes, sir.
What have I done? I don't smoke. I don't drink. I don't use no dope.
Yes, sir.
I eat one meal a day. I don't chase women.
Yes, sir.
I don't chase men. What have I done? What is my crime? My crime is that I love you. My crime is that I will never compromise the truth that will set you free out of fear for my life. That's my crime. That's what I'm guilty of. All praise be to Allah. As they went to Mubarak, a Muslim, to tell Mubarak that they're going to kill Gaddafi and ask for his help. There are many black leaders that are jealous because they thought that they had the way and the program. And the people don't listen to nobody today but Farrakhan. They don't give a damn what you say. Don't take that personal. They listening to me. Why? Why? Because I'm cute? Why? Why do you think the masses are listening to me? It is because God has not only put truth in me, but the spirit of the truth. And they are afraid that if you listen long enough, you come together. As the Bible says that the dry bones heard the word and they begin shaking in the valley because they knew the word, but they still didn't stand up. But the Son of Man called on the winds, and the winds blew on the bones, and the book say the bones stood up an exceedingly great army.
Yes, sir.
Didn't say an exceedingly great organization. It didn't say an exceedingly great club, an exceedingly great fraternity. You stood up an army. And that's what the government is afraid of. So they've come to my Muslim brothers. Some of you in this audience, you all have heard already that the government is going to get me. And some of you are silly enough to believe that if the government zapped Farrakhan, you go inherit the mantle. You are just like Abernathy.
Yes, sir.
The devil approached him, promising him what he couldn't deliver. Mr. Abernathy, if you would tell us the history of the movement from your vantage point, it will be a great help.
Yes, sir.
And we will give you this much in advance. He's broke. He's had a stroke. He's going out almost unheard of. Mr. Abernathy, when your book is written, then they'll have you on all the television shows talking about your book. will you do it? Abernathy says, yes. If they went to Abernathy and said to him, give us the dirt on Martin Luther King, Abernathy would have kicked him out the door. That's right. But they led him step by step. Yes. This is the way the Quran says the devil does. He conducts you step by step to the chastisement of the burning flame. And then when he gets you there, he abandons you. Yeah. They came to Abernathy and they said, your book is going well. The publishers really love it, Mr. Abernathy. But you know what would make the book real credible? You see, there are rumors and there are things that we know of Dr. King's personal life. And if you don't put something like that in your book will not really be credible. I mean, you don't have to say much, just something that would give it an aura of legitimacy. So he says, in a 600-page book, 2 to 3 pages. Go ahead. He said, the brother, on the night he passed, he had an affair with 2 women. Teach. Well, we can understand that. And then there was an argument. And he knocked this woman over a bed. Here's the leader of nonviolence. Knocking of all things, not a man over a bed, but a woman. Now, Abernathy ain't thinking. He see money. He see fame. He see this. And even if it's true, damn it, for $1, you don't sell your brother out. Even if it's true, don't deliver your brother into the hands of your enemy. And that's why, Shockwave, you gotta understand how the Muslims felt when Malcolm brought the messenger's domestic life to the world. As the followers of Dr. King couldn't love Abernathy because of what he did, the followers of Elijah Muhammad were hurt, man. Yes, sir. Because what Elijah Muhammad has done for us all, you can't put it down in a bedroom. Right. What Martin Luther King did for us, you can't limit that to some damn bedroom. Abernathy was deceived. Yes, sir. And if you talk to him one-on-one, the man is in great pain today. The money ain't worth it. Because now white people who hate Dr. King, yes, sir, they use Abernathy now. See, the devil sneaks right up through Abernathy. Yes, sir. Abernathy's the hostage. The devil hiding behind Abernathy. Yeah. And every time Dr. King's name is mentioned, they say his best friend. Yeah. His best friend, Abernathy, said that the leader of the nonviolent movement smacked a woman over a bed. Yes, sir. Any man who is nonviolent, if a woman make you hot, and sisters, it don't take much to upset us, because our little ego is so wounded and beat up and bruised. All you got to do is hint that we ain't what we supposed to be, and we know it too. Then the brother lifts up and says, look. Then he go to living in your mouth like a dentist. operating on your gums. It don't mean he's not nonviolent, but you touched his ego in such a way that he couldn't do nothing but strike out. We can understand it, but look at the devil, the blue-eyed beast. Look at him. Look at the money lust. Look at the deceitful one. Who is so smart, the scripture says he deceived the very elect of God. Abernathy didn't have a chance, living in the shadow of his brother. Perhaps there might have been a little something inside that he didn't even know was there. And Satan whispered and brought it out. And now, brother, they're using Abernathy to destroy the image of Dr. King. And they're going to justify trying to take away his holiday to show him as a false man. And every time you talk about a dream, they're going to talk about what Abernathy, his best friend, said. You're dealing with a devil. They have gone to my Muslim brothers and they've promised you something. If you be quiet when they move against me. They went to Jesse. I'm telling it just like it is. Bush had hardly been elected when he called Jesse to sit down. What the hell you think a president got to discuss with a Negro? You are sick slaves. And when your little slave leaders get a chance to sit in a White House and have a photo session with the big slave master, you dumb, ignorant, foolish people think that your brother has arrived in paradise. Jesse couldn't speak up for Judge Alcee Hastings. Why couldn't he talk? Why couldn't you politicians talk? Because your damn mouth is sealed because you want favor with your enemy. So you let your brother go to hell, not knowing that you're going right behind him. They moved on Eves in Atlanta, Georgia. He's in prison today. A good man. They moved on Eddie Coffin. Wasn't nobody speaking for you, Eddie? But Farrakhan came. Because I'm not no punk, brother. I don't give a damn about the power of the white man. Because I know the power of God. I laugh at Bush. I wish the damn press was still sitting here.